here in unbelievably beautiful Malibu. There's the Pacific Ocean.
I can see it over your shoulder.
You can hear the exquisite sound of the musicians practicing.
Right.
36 years ago?
Something like that, 36 years, 1979.
1979, we had the very first one of these programs. What was your vision when you brought this together in 1979, and how does it feel to you now?
Right.
And what's your vision for the
future.
next 37
Right,
years?
I understand. Well, the thing is, back in 1979, I had just moved from London, England, after living there almost a decade, training as an actor initially and then as an Alexander teacher, and I made lots of friends. And moving to Ojai, California, just north of LA, even though very beautiful, and putting our kids in a school there, I missed the people I knew. So I gathered people together in London before I left, and I said, if I could pay for your way, I don't know if I can pay any money, but I can cover your room and board and flight, would you come? And all these Alexander teachers jumped at the opportunity to come, and they were the people I wanted to hang around with and still know. So it was basically based on friendship. Now, of course, the underlying circumstance was that who wants to spend Christmas in rainy old London whenever you can come to sunny Malibu, right? So anyway, that was it. And it really took off. It was the first one that had ever happened in America, in North America, a residential workshop. So it got legs and took off, and it's been happening ever since. Now it's moved around California, but now here we're in Malibu, and we love it here at the Sarah Retreat Center.
So the first impulse was you wanted to support this sense of community, the continuity of friendship and relationship in the framework of learning and teaching the Alexander technique.
Exactly.
And obviously that works because
we're here.
I was at the first one, I'm at this one with you.
Right.
Some of our other friends are here. And there's one thing that I always love about being here is the sense of community that one feels immediately. And then it deepens in the course of the week. The only problem is this particular class finishes tomorrow. I'm already feeling sad. I actually feel sad to leave this idyllic, lovely world because just about everywhere else, even in your Alexander studio, somebody comes for a lesson and then they leave. And they come from a world where everybody's pulling down, and then they go back to the world where everybody's pulling down. But for 5 days, we've all come to this exquisite place to explore the possibility of more openness, more consciousness, more awareness, more artistic attunement, and that manifests very quickly upon arrival, and then it deepens in the course of the week.
That's right. And the thing about the Alexander technique in this work is because you're dealing on a very fundamental level with stress and the reduction of stress, people become happier because, you know, in the world out there, there's so much negativity. You turn on the news and it's just horrific. I'm not talking about sticking your head in the sand. What I'm talking about is having tools that actually allow you to do your work in your life with more ease and flexibility and fun, and being able to say no to the negativity that exists.
So, so you just said what sounds to me like the purpose beyond community.
Yeah.
So yeah, you like to hang out with your friends,
Sure.
but you want it to be an evolving community that helps to strengthen people for the challenges they face the rest of the year. It's kind of like an island of time in the course of the year, an oasis where you can come and draw from the Alexander Spring to enrich the flow of your life for the rest of the year.
And this happens. People over the last 36 years, I mean, 1,000 people have come or more on these workshops. People keep coming back. Sometimes they come every year. Sometimes they skip a year or two and then come back. They bring their friends, they bring new people. And the thing that's interesting, I never vet anyone who signs up for this retreat workshop, but they're a great group of people. They're always interested in learning. They're interested in exploring about taking responsibility for themselves. And they find that the Alexander technique is dead practical, that it actually works. It's not fanciful. It's not sort of California New Age.
Well, it's like we like to say, you don't have to believe anything to get the benefit.
That's right.
Just pay attention.
Just pay attention
Just
to
pay
how
attention.
you do the ordinary.
Right. And the other thing I think is extraordinary is that a lot of people come year after year, and then there are new people coming. But there's a diverse group. I mean, sure, we have plenty of professional musicians, and they're pretty religious about coming because the ability to be more poised directly correlates with their ability to make a living.
Exactly. You get the performers, the actors, the dancers, the musicians, and because they understand the concept of either they're their instrument or they're playing an instrument and how to fine-tune all that makes sense to them. But ordinary people who are just under performance stress realize that they can learn to work at the computer, to drive their car, better relationship at the home or at work, and they just do it all easier.
Well, that's the thing is I see these different streams of people who are here. There are the performers, the musicians, and what's so great is that the performance night on this
Right.
seminar, in this class, I mean, it could be at Lincoln Center. It could be at the Kennedy Center Honors. I mean, these people are world class. The music, the performance is fantastic. So very high level of performer, one of the streams who's here. Then there are a lot of folks who seem to be struggling with what John Dewey called compensatory maladjustments in relationship to various ailments.
Define that a little bit.
Well, we have people, one person had a couple of surgeries and walks with a little bit of a limp.
Sure.
But what's great to see is I've watched that person in the course of this week, and they're moving with more ease.
That's right.
They seem more comfortable in their body. It's not that the limp is magically cured and everything's solved, because the lesions that were responsible for the surgeries in the first place have to take their time to fully heal. But what happens is if you have a surgery, there's a tendency, if it's a hip, there's a tendency to pull down to protect it, and then to kind of lean away from it because you want to get away from the pain. And before you know it, you're walking like this.
And it throws your whole back off.
And it throws your back off, and then your knee hurts, and the other side, and then you need another surgery. Right? So what we learn is to ease ourselves out of those unconscious protective patterns. So I see the stream of people who are coming here because they are working on a more intelligent way to manage their pain beyond just drugs or more external treatment. They're taking responsibility for their own wellness.
And as I said earlier, it works. It's tried and true method. There's many levels here. As you mentioned, you have the performer, but you also have the person who has a back problem or a knee problem. You also have Alexander teachers who come and treat it as a master class, or trainees, Alexander teacher trainees who come to broaden their understanding before they actually qualify to teach. And basically just ordinary people. There was a gentleman who drove up from San Diego the other day who's a tennis player, and he was just curious about learning and how to play the game of tennis easier. So we get a complete spectrum, and also a complete spectrum of age. I think the youngest person here is a senior in high school, and the oldest person is probably pushing 80.
But I think you made a really important point too, is that it's the rare course, and I think it's because you successfully created that community feeling, where you can have Alexander technique teachers who are students on the course, learning to develop their craft. And you can have complete beginners who have never had a lesson before. Like a friend of mine came to this class.
Yeah, he did, right.
He's a CEO, he's a mover and a shaker. He was loving the relationship of the principals to managing his own energy in running all the businesses that he runs. So people can relate it to a whole range of applications.
It's state-of-the-art teaching presentational skills. So you get the corporate world people coming, so they enhance the way they speak and present the ideas that they have. I think a unique thing about this 5-day retreat workshop is how there's a blend of individual coaching with small group activity that is a through line. I call it the homeroom group throughout the 5-day period, combined with specialty classes that have a wide range from yoga and the Alexander technique to various movement disciplines and so on. The balance between the individual coaching and the group dynamic is really something that is enriching.
Well, I think that creates something that you just can't get anywhere else. I think you can take a lot of private lessons, and which is a great thing to do. But being in this context for 5 days with people from different levels, from different perspectives,
And all over the world. We have a big international mix here.
from all over the world, some who are Alexander teachers, some who are complete beginners, all working together in a supportive environment to more deeply embody these genius principles that Alexander evolved.
And we have a great teaching staff. I mean, I've really honed that down over the years. The people who teach on the faculty here are some of the best that exist. And they all have 30 plus years experience. So it's quite a unique moment. But getting back to that Malibu sun that's peeking through right here.
Well, here I have a special Alexander exercise I want you to do now. I want you to look into the camera.
Yeah.
Do the special Alexander. I want you to lengthen your fingers of your right hand
Okay.
and raise your hand up. Move a spiral movement back towards the back of your body. Now extend further and pat yourself on the back. You did a great job, man. Putting this
Thank
course
you very
together.
much, Michael. Really appreciate the support all
You
these
got it.
years.
You got it.
And you guys need to come. Whoever's watching this, this is a great opportunity. It's value for money. You actually walk away with real skills, and in a beautiful setting. The food's great, and you have the blue Pacific right out there. Thank you.
Amen. All right.
Good.